Okay. So I got inspiration to talk about anime because it's rolling back around again. I saw a lot of people talking about Dandadan or whatever. Dandadan. Y'all need to watch da 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 da. Y'all need to watch da 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 da. And I'm gonna talk about that. Actually, let me write that down. Da ra 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 ra. If you playing games, like if anything, if I'm not even, I can't even talk about it. We're gonna get to a little bit. We're gonna let people come in, and then we'll discuss what I would like to discuss. Today, we're going to be talking about my anime hot takes. I am going to be talking about animes that I have watched as far as they are, like as far as they've been created already, and their movies to take them into consideration. The only movie that I won't be taking into consideration is the one of the My Hero Academia movies because I don't even think that I had access to it. But literally, I've watched all the other anime movies of these, except here's another one. I didn't watch the movie, the Seven Deadly Sins movie. I think there's a Seven Deadly Sins movie. But speaking of Seven Deadly Sins, we're going to talk about Seven Deadly Sins first. As y'all know, I did make a Seven Deadly Sins video like 10 years ago. It's been a long time. So I'm going to kind of do a little update on what I feel about it because it hasn't changed really. Um, Annoyingly enough. Uh, they didn't get any better from the last time I talked about Seven Deadly Sins. I think I only took into consideration like season one and season two. I don't think I even talked about season three or whatever. And I did have some notes, so I'm just like getting them together about anime takes that I had. And it's just, nah. Seven Deadly Sins is like, it's one of the worst animes ever. And then the animation's horrible. Like, the least you can do is have good animation. The least you can do. And I'm not even going to get into the underpaid people who work in the animation industry, who are animators or even the writers are treated poorly. But Seven Deadly Sins, aka Seven Diddy Sins, aka Seven Deadly Predators. Literally, it just makes absolutely no sense. It's a hot take. This. Unfortunately, we live in a society where people would rather vote for a convicted felon or just a guy off the street than a woman who is well more than qualified twice. That's happened twice in our history. Half of the people who claim to say that they are leftists are just racist, homophobic, sexist, misogynist. So we already lost half of our forces already. Already lost them. Barely have any people. Already lost half. We weren't going to win this. But let me digress and not talk about politics. Let's talk about something that's not political at all. Seven Deadly Sins. So, in my original video of Seven Deadly Sins, I did discuss what I thought about each character. And I was trying to do the same thing here, but I don't think I will be able to because I think that I threw it away. Because I was like, I'm not going to talk about this anime. I said all I needed to say, but I guess I didn't because people are still sitting out here. They are still sitting out here defending Seven Deadly Sins for any amount of reasoning, like any amount of reasoning. And I do have tons of notes on My Hero Academia. Don't even get me started on My Hero Academia yet, honestly. Don't even get me started on My Hero Academia yet. I swear on everything, don't get me started on My Hero Academia yet. I swear, bro. Bro, don't even say nothing to me, boy. I look like mother. Like, don't even talk to me. I'm so serious. Like, Seven Deadly Sins is ridiculous. But when it comes to My Hero Academia, that's crazy, bro. It's crazy for the same reason and even more worse reasons. At least I'm going to say this, and I hate living in the at least. Don't ever tell me at least because I will know that you are just someone who just accepts the at least. It's super annoying. I can't stand it, and it needs to stop. But for this one specific time, I will say, literally, at the very least, Seven Deadly Sins has women who aren't just weak. and they actually have power that men are afraid of. But let's get into what the let's just talk about first, dude. Let's just talk about the sin. And people love to they love to defend seven deadly sins by saying they're not supposed to be good people. They're anti-heroes. Da, 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 da. Nah, that's not how it's framed. First of all, they're not framed as anti-heroes. They're framed as people who were framed who are good guys. At the end of the episode, we're supposed to think these people are the good guys because there are worse people than them who they're fighting. And they're in. Would you want to say they're worse? Actually, do you want to say they're worse? Because the main character we're supposed to follow, stupid Meliodas, the only reason why I can't even retain his name is because they have what they do is they will have women who look like full blown women who are literally women, like they are grown ups, but they will act like children. They will have hissy fits like children. They like what it's just very strange. And then they're gonna have guys like Meliodas who look very young. And Meliodas, for people who don't know, spoiler for every anime I talk about, spoiler for every anime I talk about, Meliodas is the main character who we follow. And one of the first things we see of him is how much of a pervert he is. Usually they make the pervert character someone that's not the main character usually. Usually there's a pervert character or a character who always runs after the girls and it's played for jokes and it's not funny. Usually they do that. In My Hero Academia, for instance, it's Mineta and a few others that people never talk about, that it's not necessarily the same thing, but it's just a little annoying and strange. And I can't even, I'm not even going to discuss Midnight. I'm not even going to, because she died off screen really. In all instances, we didn't even get to see, we got to see her look like a pervert. We got to see her look strange in front of children. But then she dies. Literally, there's so many characters who get more grace than women who are portrayed as those predators. Very interesting. And in the anime sector, like I really don't know what we're playing games with. Either way, woman, man, if you are a predator, you got to go. You got to go somewhere. You have to go somewhere else. Seriously. But old dude is going to grope a girl who we have no idea what her age is. And we just know that she looks like to be a grown woman, but it doesn't matter what people look like because there are a lot of women who appear like they are an adult or child, and they're the opposite. Makes zero logical sense. Why is that happening? Why is that happening in anime? Why are you guys allowing it? It needs to stop. And it's because y'all keep watching it and saying it's great and peak and saying stuff that like y'all will literally say something's mid because there's no assault. How many people are watching Da 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 Dan or whatever it's called? I haven't watched episode 1 of Da 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 Dan. I'm not. And I don't care if I'm saying it incorrectly because y'all need to look up why I'm not going to. I'm not even going to discuss it. Like I said, I'm trying to discuss anime that I have what's it called? Literally, I just lost my train of thought because I keep getting text messages. But honestly, Meliodas, let's just go back to Meliodas. Honestly, Meliodas, I'm not talking about that or whatever. Meliodas is a predator who has a girlfriend who he also groped, but she actually fought back a little bit more than Elizabeth, who just lets it happen. She protests and then does nothing about it. And I'm not saying like, oh, she just, that's literally not what I'm saying. I'm still upset that she is portrayed like that when men made this character, men drew these characters in these situations, and men said, yep, this is okay to go out. Before it was even anime, it was a manga. And I really don't think the manga is much better than what's going on here. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm incorrect. Maybe the manga, but we are just talking about the anime hot takes right now. And my anime hot take for Seven Deadly Sins is Meliodas is the worst protagonist ever, and ain't nobody talking about it. Ain't nobody talking about it. Everybody's going to talk about Mary Sue this and why is this character in Squid Game. That was a little annoying. I heard some loser scrub bum talking about not Seven Deadly Sins, talking about Squid Game, and he was like, why was this girl number 11 in this show at all? First of all, I actually thought it was really cool to see the pink people's perspective. I actually thought that that was going to be what it was, and old dude was either going to die in the first episode or what. I really don't, like I said, I have no idea why Jihan is still in Squid Games. He should have either went to help his daughter or whatever, or save that, be with his daughter, give the daughter some money, or he should have went in as a VIP. But he did neither of those things, and he went in with a bum loser scum trash Suicide Squad team and lost. So that's where we're at on Squid Game. But Meliodas, literally, he gropes this girl, and he had a girl, and in her past life, he was with this girl. She died, reincarnated as a baby, and there is a scene that has been created. Somebody drew this scene. Somebody drew this scene. It was not AI. Somebody voiced the scene, somebody dubbed the scene in English, and somebody posted the scene. Somebody said it was okay. Somebody published this scene where you got Meliodas holding a baby, the reincarnated version of his girlfriend who was allowing him to grope her all the time and protest just a tad bit, enough to be like, oh wow, look at this bee, why don't she shut up and just take it, why is she being a little bee? She's reincarnated as a baby. He's holding the baby in his arms and saying, stay away from my woman. There's nothing else you can defend an anime with that scene in there. You defending that anime, don't say, oh, everything's great, just cut that out. Because guess what? We're not done. We're not done. The hot takes don't start there. The hot takes don't stop there. The hot takes don't stop there. They stop. I don't know when it's going to stop. But we're gonna do all of the seven deadly sins, and I can't even remember what order they're in, so I'm just gonna do what I remember from the video, I think. So let's talk about, I don't know if Bond's next, because like I said, I couldn't find I literally found it on everything else. I found my Attack on Titans notes, I found my Hero Academia notes, and I can't find my seven deadly sins notes because, like I said, guess what? Didn't think I was ever gonna have to talk about this again. I thought we were all normal up in here. I thought the majority of us were normal, but after I saw that the majority of my country would rather just some guy off the street be president than a woman who has loads of qualifications, I know that you guys are going to defend seven deadly sins that's got like everybody as a predator. Everyone. It's insane to me. Logically, makes no logical sense that anybody is defending seven deadly sins ever by any means. So the next one I'm going to talk about is King. And I have to talk about King and Diana Diane at the same time, because there are different races in this, and that's what drew me to Seven Deadly Sins. I love a good medieval times anime. That's why I watched Delicious in Dungeon, and that's another anime that I do not I don't really like a lot anymore. I used to like it, and I liked the concept, but it just wasn't kicking. It wasn't happening. It wasn't hitting on nothing. Like I said, I would have loved Seven Deadly Sins if y'all were just going to admit it and bite the bullet and actually have good people fighting against them, and we're just following the villains, but we're not, because there are so many worse people, and they also make triumph music when they're coming into battle. It's triumphant. We're supposed to agree with these people. We're supposed to agree with these people. We're supposed to think these people are good people, not bad people. They are not anti-heroes to the plot of the story. They are the main characters. They are the protagonists. They are not anti-nothing. They ain't nothing on nobody. We're supposed to think these people are good anyway. King is a creature who is their people literally age differently. They're fairies, and fairies age slower. And I just saw this on TikTok. That's why they want to delete TikTok, because it's informing sometimes. Sometimes it's informing, sometimes it's misinformation. And that's everywhere. That's everywhere. You pick up two different newsletters or whatever, two different newspapers, they're going to say different things about the same thing. You go to different websites, they're going to say the different things about the same thing. It's literally no different than a paper that you can touch. I can't deal with anybody who thinks that all of a sudden misinformation's happening. But King is a fairy. Looks like a child. His form that he turns into looks like an older man. Like he's like a fat older man. And they make him out to be gross. And I don't like that. Like, I really don't like when they make overweight characters out to be gross when they are just people, literally, just like you and me. It makes no sense, but it's played for laughs, basically. And I think that's one reason why he looks like that. And like I said, it's annoying. Dude loves this girl, Diane, or whatever. She's a giant, big boy, big little boy, big woman syndrome. That's literally all this is. This is just catering each. It's funny because every seven deadly sin actually caters to a fetish that is problematic, but not in the like, I don't think small dude, big woman is problematic. What I don't like is what their actual relationship is, not the tall girl, short guy. I'm fine with that as long as they're age appropriate, but they're not. Um, King's relationship with Diane is not good. First of all, they keep giving this girl amnesia so that they have to go through the will they or won't they every season. That was wild. That was wild to see. It was wild to see the first time. They finally get together, they finally like each other, and then she gets amnesia. That happens multiple times. Not once, not twice, multiple times. More than twice that happens with the same character in the same tired, old, raggedy, good for nothing cycle. Nobody, that's another thing. I love a good multiracial, interracial couples, but it's just like, I really don't know why the characters who are children all their lives, they look like children most of their lives or whatever, aren't with each other and not some dude who is 6'11". That is strange. And like I said, it's not the tall person, short person that I don't like. It's the age difference. Literally. King's crush Diane is a giant who he saw as a baby infant crawling on the ground. Ooh, he saw that girl when she was a baby. She was a child. He was already he was already chilling. He was already chilling with McGrillen. He was already looking the way he looked right now. And you could say, "Oh, well, he's not mature yet. He's not that age yet." So, whatever, whatever. You win this round, but you didn't win the first round where it was hands off my woman and it was a baby in his arms. You didn't win that round. You can play games with Diane and King's relationship all you want to. And let's talk about Diane real quick. So she's envy, which is a little gross because it's like she wants to be with Meliodas, who is groping on everybody. She would love if that male was groping on her, but he just does not like her because, like I said, the girls will be adults, but they will act like a child. She acts most like a child than anybody. She acts more like a child than anybody. And I really don't know why. And there are some childish attributes attributed to Elizabeth. However, she is a different case. She is very much so a victim of grooming. I'm going to just say that right now because, first of all, her father did nothing. All he did was, hey, 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 don't touch my daughter. Hey, as he's still doing it. As Meliodas is still doing it. And in my first video, I did mention how Meliodas is supposed to be supposedly the canonically strongest person ever. So no one can stop him from groping. The father, who is the king, cannot stop this male from groping his daughter. He can't. All he can do is say, hey, hey, don't do that. Don't do that. Like, what did that do? He still did it. He did it again, and he did it when he left. I really don't know what your problem. He considers Elizabeth an object when she is literally a holy being. Spoiler, like I said, she's a whole holy being with all this power, but she can't. Once she knows she's got the power, she dies or something stupid. It's really ridiculous. That's so ridiculous. That goes into what I wanted to talk about. I have notes on tropes that literally hurt me physically. That's one of them. Literally, let's see. The girl who cannot control her power, that falls under that. That falls under that. literally, because why can't she be powerful? Everybody else, every male, every scumbag bum, and even Meliodas. When I talk about freaking, um, not Meliodas, yeah, Meliodas is another example of this. He literally has so much power that he can't use a sword that has a tip because he would like be killing everybody all the time or whatever. I really, like I said, I don't care. You can argue with your mom. There's no saving seven deadly sins. There's literally no saving. Shame on whoever created it. Shame on every single person who animated and allowed that scene to occur with him grabbing that baby, talking about hands on my woman. Everybody who was a part of that should feel ashamed. Everybody who put a cent towards this shindig, who posted it, who let it be on Netflix, who didn't take it down and say my humblest apologies. All the people who were mad at cuties. Ain't nobody saying nothing about seven deadly sins being removed. Ain't nobody talking about how that's going to promote this, that, and the third. Nobody's saying that about anime because y'all secretly love this crap. Literally. I am so annoyed every time. It's so annoying that these girls have to be downplayed and dumbed down or to have less power than everybody else, first of all. And if they are too powerful, like Jane Grey or whatever that girl's name is, freaking explode. Guys don't do that. Literally, Naruto, yeah, oh, this, that, and the other, he can't control his power, he can't, but he's still not going to kill himself, though. He's still not going to kill himself, though. Super Saiyan old dude, like he literally gets to do whatever the freak he wants. But these girls, like, and when I talk about Nezuko, that's another story. That's another. But when Demon Slayer is next, but we are not done. We are not done. We were still talking about Diane. I remember girl height. And then we were talking about what's his face, King and Diane's relationship. Hate it so much. I will never love it. It's not gonna be my favorite. It will never be my favorite. Can't stand them. Can't stand that she keeps getting amnesia. Can't stand that he saw her as a child and he grew up and he's like he's crushing on her. Hey, oh, Bond. Ooh, Bond. Don't make me talk about Bond. Please don't make me talk about Bond. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Please. Bond, the dude who everybody is attracted to. Everyone is attracted. You made him look physically attractive so that the things he did could be excused. Anytime you think somebody's attractive, Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp. Anytime somebody is attractive in your eyes, he can do no wrong. And it only goes for certain people. There are some girls who get away with some things, but girls don't get away with nearly enough things that guys get away with for being attractive to the eye. Literally, it just makes no logical sense. Everything that guys say that are girls things, like, oh, you're so dramatic, you're this, you can't handle this, you're so like girls aren't setting men on fire because they said no. Women aren't setting people on fire because men said no to them. Men are the ones setting people on fire for people rejecting them. And then you're going to dare say that it's women's fault that you guys are lonely. No one wants to be around you. I don't care. Freaking go to the woods where Logan/Jake was. I'm so serious. It's ridiculous. You're trying to make women feel bad that you're sad when women are literally dying out here. Femicide is at an all-time high, and y'all are literally upset because your feelings got hurt because someone said they don't want no short loser. Get over it. Women have to get over it. If women are called too masculine, if women are called this, that, and the third, if you're emasculated, you go for killing someone. When women are defeminized, we suck it up and move on. That's the difference. But let me just turn back. Let me turn back to Bond. I will do everything in my power to stop talking about Bond, but we have to. Old dude that is very attractive to the eye, drawn for that purpose. He's always shirtless, or you can see it's skin tight on him. He is the symbol of what y'all want us to accept. So old dude is a thief. Um, by the way, Meliodas' sin is wrath. King's sin is sloth because I guess he did something in the past where he was like too lazy, which I don't think it's laziness that I would say would be attributed to what happened, but he's always on some pillow and he always looks tired. So yes, he's sloth. And Diane, like I said, she's envy because she envies girls that Meliodas wants to be with. She's like, why don't you just grope my breasts? Like, that's insane. Like, insane. Some guy created Diane and made her say crap like that. It's wild to me. And y'all still watching this anime. Y'all still sitting there waiting for the next movie. And you guys saw the animation and y'all still sitting there waiting for the next movie. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievably sad. So Bon is the sin of freaking, what's it called? Greed. So he's greedy. He was looking for the elixir of life or whatever, and he finds, guess what? King's sister, who, like I said, I just learned that King's sister, if the what's it called? Fairies don't have any wings, supposedly, they aren't like mature as an adult yet. So apparently old girl Elaine, who is Bond's girlfriend slash wife, who he mistake he mistook her for a child on their first meeting. Likes this girl, loves this girl, and she dies. And he gives her the elixir of life, but she puts it into his mouth from her mouth as she's dying. Didn't know how that didn't realize that would work. So now Bond's immortal. And then years later, after he's locked up and Meliodas is trying to get the band back together, he meets this girl named Jericho, who um she attributes her being a woman to him disrobing her and leaving her naked in front of men and treating her poorly. They make her say that. They make her say, "Oh, thanks for making me a woman. You got to take responsibility for this." And mind you, Jericho actually looks like an adult woman. Elaine does not. Elaine looks like a child, prepubescent. Y'all still watching this anime though? Will you believe me if I said that Bond, the 6'11" male, and Elaine, like the 2'2" fairy, who's thousands of years old, had a child? And then Jericho, the one who Bond stripped and left naked in front of men in a disgusting dungeon, fell in love with their child. Would you believe me? You really don't. I I hope you don't believe me. I hope you can live the rest of your life not thinking that that's something that they would let be animated, let alone drawn into a manga. Y'all still watching the anime though. Y'all still watching that anime though. Let's talk about another woman, shall we? Who everyone was hoping to God was normal. Normal. She's not. And I can't remember her sin. Um, greed, sloth, wrath, envy, pride is Eleanor or not Escanar or whatever his name is. Um, lust is the human sex doll. I'm so serious. That's the best way to describe that person. And what am I missing? Pride, sloth, greed, envy, um, lust. I'm gonna write this down. Uh, pride, sloth, greed, um, envy. Uh, lust, pride, sloth, greed, envy. What am I missing? Greed, sloth, greed. Gluttony. Gluttony. Gluttony and I thought I already said wrath. That was the only one I was missing. So gluttony. I think all girls gluttony. And I'm gonna look it up. It's gluttony. Like I said, I had to look it up because guess what? It don't make no sense. She's a glutton for power, a glutton for knowledge, a glutton for whatever. And I like that aspect. I like that it's not just some fat dude or some fat chick eating all the time. I like when it's turned on its ear. A lot of these sins are turned on their ear, except like three of them. Like three of them. Because I said sloth. King, like if you watch the anime, which I really hope you don't, he doesn't really fit sloth in my opinion. My opinion. Greed is Bond. Clearly he's greedy. And I think he should go under not lust. Because I really do feel like lust isn't like I think assault and like rape and all that goes under wrath. And that makes sense for Meliodas because I really do feel like he is just assaulting people left and right. Nobody can stop him. No, nobody can stop him. And everybody's just like, oh, they mistake him for a child too. But for some reason, people like him. Like I said, why is everybody a predator up in here? And then lust is freaking sex doll. I told you, but let's talk about gluttony. Merlin, her normal form is a baby child. Like she looks like a child. She is very small and she loves Meliodas. And he doesn't like her because she knows what she looks like normally. And she became the way she looks because she wanted to attract Meliodas. No decent character development, nothing of value. We see the guys mostly doing guy stuff and broing out. Like we know more about Bond's story and they humanize Bond more than they humanize Merlin. In fact, Merlin seems to be a main villain for a little bit. For a small bit, like I said, don't watch please don't watch this anime. I implore you, please watch a video of someone talking about the anime if you want to see from beginning to end, some timeline video or something, because I just and also if you have access to Netflix, please go on there and do dislike. Just get that thing out of there. Get every single thing that says seven deadly sins out of there. They tried, they thought they ate. They did not. It's still full, bro. It's disgusting actually. Anyway, Merlin, like I said, there's barely anything of substance to talk about with Merlin. She is literally there with her top open for her breasts to be revealed. She has a hard on for Meliodas for what reason I have no idea. There's a Camelot side quest thing that I really liked until this whole situation. I love that Merlin was a girl and not a guy, and it was very ambiguous to who that person was that was sitting there floating. It was her. Spoiler, it was Agatha all along. But her, like I said, her character goes down the toilet when she's sitting there simping for Meliodas, who is literally juggling breasts in his hand. And y'all could say that, oh, Elizabeth consented. Like I said, she was groomed. So her consent beyond that, with the person that groomed her, with the person, the father that allowed that to happen, because like I said, he sat there and did nothing. He didn't call the guards. He didn't do nothing. He didn't even try because guess what? Everybody thinks this man is canonically the most powerful person in their universe. So he cannot be stopped. And y'all do this with guys and y'all see the whole situation, even with the boys with Homelander and that other girl. Y'all do that even when girls have powers. Y'all devalue them. Everyone should be on an equal playing field. It shouldn't be, even though a girl has magic, it's still like this. The power level should be a balancing out. And actually, I do believe women should always be stronger with magic in any medium, in any form, regardless of anything. Because if you really want to play games and say that men are stronger, then women should be stronger in some other aspect. But for some reason, just like in real life, we got Gordon Ramsay and everybody's asking him for his opinion. We've got Bobby Flay, who cannot cook. He literally has beat Bobby Flay so he can feel better about himself beating people. He knows if he gets beat, literally, how loser scrub bum are you? Nobody else has to have a stupid thing where you've got to fight against you to make yourself feel better. Even Gordon Ramsay doesn't have a thing like that. He goes to other places and he learns stuff. Learn something, Bobby Flay. I cannot stand Bobby Flay. It is always Amberell, Team Red in this household. It will never be Bobby Flay. But he's sitting there grilling on the grill, put some seasoning on it like Salt Bay, and he thinks that he is like the Gordon Ramsay. And like I said, we say Gordon Ramsay when Julie Childs, like literally, women are supposed to be in the kitchen, but you've got all these men in the kitchen and saying that they're better, and you've got all these like I was just talking to somebody the other day about how I don't see any women working at hibachi restaurants except they be getting the tea, they be giving you your check, they be giving you your sushi, but you don't see women, sushi chefs that are women. A lot of the times, you don't see hibachi women like ever. I've never seen a woman doing hibachi grill ever, ever. Never seen a woman do hibachi grill ever. It's ridiculous. How are women supposed to be in the kitchen when men are saying that we don't belong in the kitchen? Women should be better at literally, if y'all are playing games and y'all want to say that everybody's got their role, men need to get out of the kitchen and you need to stop taking the money that women deserve. But we're getting off topic. Like I said, Merlin is a nothing burger of a character. Most of her thing is like, oh, I love Meliodas. And he looks like a child. And yeah, you could say, oh, well, she's a child too. That actually makes sense. Guess what? Um, it doesn't. It doesn't because, like I said, y'all are really crazy. She never is in that form. She's never in that form. So why are you even talking about it? She's never in that form. Why are we discussing it? So the next person I'd like to talk about is old dude. I'm gonna just say this right now. The lust person, they have lobotomized somebody. They have taken somebody's life. They're supposed to not be a real person. They're like a golem in a sense. And the original person who had the armor that the person has now died because of them or whatever. All I know is once you're lobotomizing people, once you're putting them in a relationship like Overboard. Another movie that I hate so bad is Overboard. I think it's called Overboard. I was just like skimming through the channels and saw it come on one time, and I was really angry because it's about this guy who hates this girl, and she's like a bee, and he just wants to shoot her in the head and get it over with, or he just wants to burn her house down like a loser, scrub bum, incel, trash piece of garbage. But instead, she gets amnesia, and he forces her to pretend to be his wife with the children, and the children are in on it, and they're treating her horribly. And he's not arrested by the end of the movie. He's supposed to be the main character, and everyone's supposed to love him. I can't. Anyway, the lust person, I'm literally just gonna skim right by them because, like I said, like you heard me say that there's nothing else to say. And they force a person into a relationship and they make them forget their family. Like it's just a bunch of craziness. Last person, but least, because they decided to pull the whole thing where it's like, oh, we're not going to show this person. We're not even going to show you what they look like. When everybody who's watching this show saw what this dude looked like already. Um, Pride. Escanor, I think his name is. He's supposed to be supposedly he's supposed to be the powerful one. He's supposed to be the most powerful one. He's got this thing going on. Like it's crazy how everybody's got like different forms, like Pokemon style, except you can go back and forth. And he's got this muscular form that's like a jerk or whatever, and then a nice form that's like a loser scrub bum with glasses or whatever to symbolize that he's a loser scrub bum, I guess. Don't know why glasses have been made to be a sign of weakness. It's so crazy to me. It just makes no logical sense. And another thing, I ain't never lost my glasses just by living life. I ain't never just been like, oh my gosh, where's my glasses? They not coming off my face. I don't know why old girl kept losing her glasses. But that's basically it. There's like I said, there's nothing really much to say about Escanor as well. He comes and goes. I think he dies as well. That's another thing. I think he dies just as fast as he came in on this thing. Let me get a drink. So it's just whatever. And my next thing I would like to talk about is Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer. Why is Nezuko sitting there with a garter in her mouth? Because she can't handle the truth. She can't handle nothing. Like I said, a girl who cannot control her power. Literally, I wrote a whole essay on it. It's so ridiculous. It's the whole thing. Like, it's the whole thing. Nezuko from the anime Demon Slayer. One big thing I hate about her is she cannot speak. And people love to talk about how, oh, well, she da 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 da. That's whole. No, I'm not gonna argue with you about that. It's unacceptable. Every other male character gets to speak, or the girls have to be meek and disgusting. This dude, I'm not simping on that dude that's got 3 wives. I'm not simping on it, because why are we seeing a bunch of harems with these women and they are getting along so well, and we never see a harem of girl and guys? And then when that does happen, they make the guys the least bit interesting, first of all. And then they make the girl a Mary Sue, which is short term for she literally doesn't die in the first episode. They just want to see her die in the first episode. Anyone who says that, they just want her to be gone. Like I said with the dude that was talking about Squid Game, why are you even talking about 011? Like you didn't want to see what was going on in the pink room or whatever, the pink people. You make me sick. That person that said that was really annoying. It was really annoying. Because y'all never have that time and space to say, why is this guy here? Speaking of which, Mortal Kombat, I have talked about Mortal Kombat multiple times on my channel. And I talked about Cole Young. Why is Cole Young in my Mortal Kombat movie? Who the freak is Cole Young? We've got 10,000 people on the roster, and you got Cole Young up in here and his white Anglo-Saxon family and his biracial daughter. Y'all couldn't, like, if you didn't want to make it about Liu Kang for a 5th time, even though the video games are still surrounded by Liu Kang, y'all could have did anything else. Literally put it in anyone else's perspective and call it a freaking goddamn day. Y'all Mila Kulovich Mortal Kombat, and it's so funny. Just like Alice was Resident Evil, because it's Alice's, just like Stephen King's It's Alice's Resident Evil. It's Alice's Resident Evil. Always. It'll always be Alice's Resident Evil, because I can't, because it's like Alice in Wonderland style. I'm not dealing with y'all. All you had to do was put it from Jill's perspective from the first video game all the way through. All the way through. First video game, second video game with Chris as the secondary character, Jill still as the main character. Third game, literally call it a day. Call it a freaking goddamn day. Couldn't do that. Still couldn't do that with Welcome to Raccoon City. You put it in the perspective of Claire, took every aspect of what I liked about Jill and put it into Claire. And then you gave Claire but all to do except be the everything all around burger, having Jill sit there, and they were going to make her and Wesker a thing so that it would hit a lot harder when he betrayed them, when all they had to do was the same thing in the video games. Stop making stuff up. Stop making stuff up. Just watch the video games if you can't be bothered to play them. And freaking get it the freak together. I'm telling you right now, if I had $10 billion in my account right now, we would definitely be making a movie right now. Yes, sirree, Bob, because y'all cannot handle the truth. I would buy the IP and we'd be cracking it up in here. First thing I would do was make a Resident Evil Code Veronica X remake. That's right, son. That's what I would start doing. And then I would make a movie about the first Resident Evil. And then I would do a second movie about the third and second video games. Or I would make it a TV series. and call it a day. But let's talk, like I said, anime. We're already talking about that. Let's go back. Nezuko has that garter thing in her mouth. She can't talk. All the other guys can talk. All the other guys can be annoying. All the other guys can be disgusting and loud. But the girl has to be like, I can't. I can't. She has no personality. She never had a personality. She's akin to a Pokemon and a Pokeball. I can't deal with it. Like, you take her out when you want to, but she's also a hindrance on you because she can't do things. How is she so powerful? She can't control herself, but she's also so powerful, but she can't control herself, and you got to protect her. And oh my goodness, where's Nezuko? I got to protect her. Like, you weren't busted up last 2 episodes. It's so annoying. I can't stand him. Can't stand Tanjiro. I can't stand that trio. I personally like him in the sense that his character is a good character, but I can't stand the fact that they all get to be a character. They all get to scream or yell or cry or whatever. And I'm not one of those people. Midoriya crying, I was fine with that because guess what? He is a child. These are all children. What I'm saying is they get to do whatever they want while Nezuko is sitting in a box. Some of them come in the box, some of them send the squad, some of them send, and he's like, why is she sitting in the box? It's ridiculous. She's not a character. She is more of a chair than anything. She is an item. Her thoughts aren't even like consistently heard. We've heard her have thoughts for like 2 seconds. And you can say, oh, she can talk now. That shouldn't have been no thing. That should have been no thing. She is a demon. She could have just, you could have played it along like Lupin style, where she went ravenous when she smelled blood or something crazy. Something. Be unique. Stop hindering women. Stop hindering girls in anime. It's anime while these little boys are able to move a 10-ton rock because they stood under a freaking waterfall. The least you can do is have Nezuko be able to speak for the entire duration of the anime. When good, good and god dang well, everybody else was able to have a character arc and have whatever and whatnot. Either the women are aloof. Freaking Tanjiro's girlfriend who's freaking god dang aloof, and you can play games and say, oh, she's traumatized, shut up. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. The girls are either aloof little girls, babies, with no power whatsoever, about to die every 2 seconds. Or there's literally 2 girls who are powerful. The not vampire, the demon, and this is kind of like vampirism. The way it looks, the way the things are, it's just the way that they're out at night and they can't be in the sun. Is very vampire coded. The girl who was like, oh, I'm a good demon, where she ultimately gave up her life to kill the dude that made her into a demon in the first place. And the Love Hishira, both of those girls die. Both of those girls die. They were the strongest in the anime. Both of them die. The only girl who survives that's worth anything, worth a darn, I think is Nezuko. I don't even remember if Nezuko survives or not because anime's not over. So we don't know what they're going to do in the anime. And y'all can be like, oh, they've changed stuff a lot. They've changed a lot of stuff sometimes. So I have no idea. Literally, it's just like, I cannot stand that Nezuko is literally like a fridged character. Like, she cannot, anyone who says their favorite character is Nezuko, no, she's not. She has no characteristics. Her characteristics are freaking being stupid and being dumb. Literally. She's not allowed to speak per making of the character. She's not allowed to speak except now. Oh, well, now she at the final ending, and we barely heard her speak before they went into the freaking temple or whatever. She spoke and then we never saw her. We had enough time to sit there and watch Tenjiro make rice. But we don't have enough time to see Nezuko do anything of value, character-wise. So, Ichibichi, whatever his name is, the one that was raised by boars, I really like him as a character. I like him. He is more of a character, I would say, than Bakugo. I'm so sick of Bakugo, and I'll talk about Bakugo when we get to My Hero Academia. But definitely I cannot stand um Zunitsu. Zunitsu, whatever his name is. He's a pervert who proclaimed his love for a girl who cannot speak until she can, who really knows nothing about this loser. Really. And he knows nothing about her either. Because she just started talking and we never saw them even interact really, except for him to oogle over her and chase her around the room. That's not cute and it's not funny. I'm so sick of seeing that. Ridiculous. So, like I said, I will never not be upset that y'all let Nezuko go that whole time, and not speak. And you had the audacity to make it seem like she was a character at all ever. Every other character got to speak their mind, except, like I said, the aloof girl that is Tantaro's wife eventually. She didn't speak that much either. The Love Hishira, we had to see that girl naked. She was sexualized. Tons of times she's sexualized by her even existing. According to the lore of the show, according to the lore of the show, the Love Hishira, her outfit was made by the dude who makes the outfits, and he lied to her and said, "Oh yeah, this is how it's gonna be for the girls," basically. So she has this outfit that people wanted her to be sexualized in, and she didn't even get it changed. She didn't even say, "You know what? I'm gonna kill you." And the next person's gonna have to tell me that or fix my crap. But it's ridiculous. And all of the girl Hishiras die. Every girl Hishira dies. And there's only two of them. There's only two of them. You could say there was more in history because that other girl died. There's only two of them right now. And this is magic. Y'all can play games and say this isn't magic. This is a magic system. Whether they're using swords or not, it's a magic system. Water's coming from nowhere. It's a magic system. Fire's coming from nowhere. Well, shine. And like I said, the guy who has multiple, and I didn't even talk about Daki. How Daki was sexualized like wild when she died as a child. So why are they looking like that? They died as children. So why do they look like that? And if they can look like that, why isn't Nezuko being able to speak? And there's a little boy, demon, a part of the demon thing, and it's according to the lore of the manga and anime. Nezuko is one of the most powerful demons, but she can't speak. There was a little boy who was pretending to have his own family in the woods, and he was able to speak very fluently. It wasn't like caveman speech. He spoke very fluently, and he looked younger than Nezuko. Everyone else gets to speak. I will never argue and accept anybody's explanation as to why she didn't get to speak except misogyny. Put that thing in her mouth and said you're going to look pretty, you're a little child. And she also goes to little adolescence. That's another thing. She moves from being docile, and then when she's angry, I forgot to mention this. I was about to move on. I forgot to mention this. Nezuko, when she gets angry and uncontrollable, she becomes a woman. Her breasts are out. She becomes a woman, basically showing, oh, if you're a woman, you can't control your anger, you can't control this, you can't control that. Once you have breasts, once you're bigger than everybody else, you're dangerous. You're docile, you're a baby, you're cute, you're a little girl. Everyone else has cool looking powers and stuff, and all her level up is breasts and being taller and being sexualized even more than she is, and she's a child. Y'all still watching the anime though. Y'all still watching that anime though. Y'all never gonna not. Y'all always gonna defend it. Y'all always gonna say, well, Nezuko is a different demon. What are you, how's that? I'm not arguing. So, Daki, let's talk about Daki. Old girl died with her brother, and it was a sad story. All of the demons have sad stories, but it seems like the girls have to have the worst rundown story. And you could say that some of the guys don't, but I mean, some of the guys do. But what I will say is Daki and her brother are connected. They're supposed to be both of the Moon Corp or whatever, the Moon ranks or whatever. And old dude who Michael Jackson, aka Demon Michael Jackson, literally was like saying, "Oh, the brother's the one that's strong. You weakling, you nothing. Why is she even here then? Why can't she just be equal to her brother? Why couldn't she just be equal to her brother? Why couldn't they just be both halves of a whole? Why couldn't they both be the same thing? Why did she have to be the weakling? And why did you have to make a specific scene telling us that she's weak? How many times are we going to do this?" And then Ichibichi, whatever his name is, that got raised by boars, his mom, sad story, horrible story. He never met his mom. He was a baby, sent him off, got raised by boars, was killed in a cult that she stupidly enough joined. Like it's her fault that she got into a cult. Like freaking, she was. I'm not even gonna say that. She was freaking homeless. All I know is she was down on her luck and she had a child. Like, so, and she had no place to go. So all I know is it's just annoying. I'm so sick of people talking about how Nezuko is a different person. So, oh, she shouldn't be able to speak. Don't make no sense. Don't make no sense. I was gonna talk about My Hero Academia and Demon Slayer, but we're getting to an hour, so I'm just gonna stop here. Maybe I'll do a part two and then talk about it. But I was really like trying to get this. I can do a speed run. I can really do a speed run real quick if you want me to. My Hero Academia, all of the girls are sexualized. There are videos and clips of people literally showing how the boys are able to wear stuff in the locker room or wherever they're bathing, and the girls have to be straight up naked. These are all children. These are all children. None of them are adults. None of them are adults. They're all children. So I really don't know why they're put in that situation. Another thing is all of the girls seem to be a weakling, bum scrum. Like I said, why did that girl that was stripes, stars and stripes, how did she get defeated? Her power, it makes no sense how she got defeated. Makes zero logical sense. But she dies. All Might gets to live though for a long time. I don't know if he ever dies in canon. I think he does, but he's talking about I'm dying. He started talking about he was dying in the first episode. We've seen him for like 6 movies die already. But literally, old girl comes in, first scene, she's dead. It's crazy. And then that girl who did her arm like this and like one arrow shot or something, whatever her name is, literally weakling, got attacked. She had the best looking, like she was very good looking. She had the best outfit. She looked like she was going to be there a long time, and no sooner was she there, she was gone. The dragon woman, like she got like one time to shine and that was it. Midnight freaking died. And then she was real strange with the kids. Very strange, make no logical sense. Forget everybody who created My Hero Academia. All the girls serve for nothing but to be, and we could have had some commentary about how girls are treated. And there was commentary, but nothing happened with that. That was over. It was over with one episode and they're done. They don't talk about it no more. Oh, girl, Gravity or whatever. Mind you, that's the worst name ever for a stupid superhero. Gravity is the worst name for a superhero. She's being too love struck to be useful. She's the only one able to float like doilies. Like she literally doesn't do anything with her powers that are of substance. She could have won the tournament against Bakugo, and she couldn't cut the mustard. And then, like, it didn't matter that Bakugo even won. It it served to be like he's here, but everybody ended up being where like it didn't matter. It didn't matter. What I'm saying, it didn't matter. Momo, her quirk is creation, and she's like, it's a disservice to make her rich, or at the very least, poor then rich due to her quirk. That would give her more of a personality besides being second fiddle constantly to everyone around her. She is second fiddle every time, nonstop. Second fiddle. I hate that so much. Momo could have been a good character, but she's always second fiddle. No matter who is next to her, she's always going to be weak. Even when it's a girl on the other team, she just doesn't cut the mustard. And then older girls like, oh, I would ruin the economy if I made money. What? You could just pretend like you wouldn't do that. That would be a very cool thing. And I don't know the manga, so I don't know if she's lying about being rich or if she pretended. Like, I don't know. All I know is it would have made more sense if her freaking breasts weren't out. She could take it out her face. She could take it, if you want to play games and say, she could take it out of her mouth. She could take it out of her neck. She could take it out of her back. She could do something, but you got her breasts exposed. These are all children. This is insane. Insanity to me. You still watching this. Um, Sue quirks being useful and a frog. Literally. Most utilized girl. Momo is the most capable, but she's often written to be useless. She's the least sexualized because the creator made her the least attractive to other characters. That's what saves her in the universe. Literally. But it didn't stop the fans from sexualizing her. That's literally what I wrote down for her. Cuz that's basically all there is to say about Sue. And then what's it called? Oh girl. What's it called? That girl that has the Ishadu or Ashidu. What's that girl's name who's pink? Because she is coded to be black for numerous reasons. And when she loses her pink, she's a white person. Very funny how they got her using AAVE. They got her teaching people how to break dance. What else? She does a lot of things that are stereotypical black things or something that is associated with the black community, like AAVE. And she's going to be an Anglo-Saxon. Same goes for the girl who turns invisible. She turns invisible and she becomes a person, and she's blue eyes, blonde hair, Anglo-Saxon. Y'all have no personality. Y'all have no charisma, no uniqueness, no nerve, no talent, no imagination when it comes to characters. She could have looked like anything, and y'all decided to make her an Anglo-Saxon of the Caucasus Mountain is really insane to me. Her whole purpose in the show is to be a breast joke or a freaking rude joke. Mind you, she is a minor. And what gets me annoyed, the most annoyed about her character is that she is blonde and she could have looked like anything, and she's sexualized to like, oh, are you wearing clothes? Like I hate that most of all the depictions of speedsters are men, and most of the depictions of invisible people are women and girls. I don't like that. I don't like that. And they also give the girls like the craziest things. Like, oh, girl can make anything out of anything, and she does not ever win it. She never wins anything. She never wins. She's always outsmarted. Like, name a time Momo won anything. And then the punk rocker girl who just serves to like another dude. Like, at first I thought she was going to be a character, but nah, not really. Her personality isn't infantized, but like, I feel like they treat all of the girls horrible in this anime. And May, what's that girl's name? Yes, she's not even in the A class. Most of B class is just literally better than the, like, what purpose do you serve being invisible? Quickly. as a hero. You can't escort people out. You can't make them invisible. You can stop somebody, you can disarm somebody that doesn't have the quirk to smell you or notice that there's someone coming closer or hears footsteps. All of Class B is better than Class A. There's some like Mineta. Why is he in Class A? Why is Mineta 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 in Class A? What purpose does he serve? You got a girl. You got a girl that got the mushroom fever that can turn like she almost won the thing right there with the mushrooms. And she's in Class B, the bootleg class. The bootleg bum class is crazy. And May can build stuff and she's very smart, but she's not even a side character. She's like a tertiary character. We never see her. Hate that. It just disgusts me. This stuff disgusts me. But let's talk about just the three My Hero Academia boys. I'm not even talking about the dude that runs fast. I'm not even talking about the dude that can turn into rock. I'm not talking about nobody else. I'm just talking about the three dudes. Young Midoriya. I'm probably the only person who likes Midoriya. He isn't main character worthy. I think a main character of My Hero Academia should have been a woman. Don't know why it was a boy. Um, People wouldn't have had big of an issue if it were a boy crying all the time, even though these are children. These are children. These are children. So I don't mind that children are crying. Anyone who has a problem with children crying in an anime and you're like, man, stop crying. What's wrong with you? And I lost all respect for Midoriya when he befriended his bully, Bakugo. Like his quirk is literally to be the most annoying character in the history of characters. If there was a way to delete one person from My Hero Academia, I would do Bakugo before I would do Mineta, despite me hating Mineta. When Mineta should not be in Class A. Mineta should not be in Class A. Like if I were somebody in Class B, I would be really upset that Mineta is sitting in the back of the class. But literally, Todoroki is the son of the second hero or whatever. Number one, technically, Endeavor, when what's his face retires or whatever, even though he's still alive, mind you. Old boy is still alive and kicking, according to the last time I watched the anime. But old dude Todoroki, he's like the most important person to his family. And there's tons of his relatives, but I personally don't find him to be a compelling character. Like literally the three characters that are the main characters of My Hero Academia are like the least interesting with the least interesting quirks. Like you got when you got Cementos, when like I would never want to be in this world because you can either be born a cinder block or born with something useful. And how'd they know she was alive? How'd they know she was there? Like heat sensors or something to the invisible girl? Why can't she turn uninvisible? Why can't she turn uninvisible? Will that ever happen? Please let me know because it's a little annoying to have these questions and not see an answer to them. But all I know is Todoroki is just not interesting to me. He's a brute who is giving Zuko coded, who I really don't care about. He not brute like brute force, but brute as in he likes to brood. He's a brood. I don't know. All I know is these are like the three least interesting people, and I can't stand them, and I hate them so bad. But let's see. Um, yeah. So let's just go over some things about My Hero Academia hot takes. The girls were done dirty. Uber Gravity, like I said, worst name in the universe. Momo, why is she born rich when she could have that could have been a whole storyline where she just got money because she started taking it out her leg or something. Toga, like literally the scary fictional crazy ex-girlfriend trope. I really can't stand that Toga was done the way she was. Like she got She's dead. She's gone. Like I said, most of the girls be leaving. Rumi is great until she's not. Midnight, she was made by a man. She was not made by no woman. Gun Elbow built her up for nothing. Freaking Pinky, not like other girls' girl until they need her to be useless. That's another thing about the Pink Girl. She is very useful. She got a very useful quirk until they need her to be completely pointless and wasteful just to make a guy feel better. I'm telling you that right now, the second. She is very powerful. She's very strong until they need a guy to be above her. That is what happened. Invisible Girl, why is she blonde? Why can't she turn on invisible? Eerie represents the exploitation of women without the growth of a good character. And then the Music Girl is like pointless. And I really don't know her name. I can't remember her name right now. But that's all I have to say about My Hero Academia for the most part. We're going to do this last one and then I'm getting off. So Attack on Titan, we're going to go really fast. I'm not going over each character. Can't stand Attack on Titan because the simple fact that it's got the same problem as Merlin. If you want to know my opinion about Merlin, go to my channel, look up First Taste Season 1, Episode 1 of my all-time favorite all-time favorite TV shows. And I did talk about Merlin, about how there's an oppressed class with power stronger than the people who are oppressing them, and they are still somehow oppressed. And there's a lot of um, reflected imagery when it comes to how they portray the people who are doing genocide versus the people who are fighting back against people who have genocided them. It's insane to me. They make it seem like you killing Uther, you killing the people who are doing this horrible thing, you're just as bad. It's insane to me. So literally, women are at their best, but still disappointing. Ani had us in the first half. She was strong and useful in the first half, and then she was just some docile loser, scrub bum, good for nothing when everybody went through the same garbage. You could say, oh, she's traumatized. Everybody went through the same garbage, worse, better, same. Nobody else is as comatose as her, and they made her be in a little thing so they could keep her alive because they would kill her if they didn't keep her in that ice. They were just keeping her under wraps. Like I said, that's another thing. When girls are powerful, they have to keep them in under wraps in a box or in ice, something stupid, or they have to blow up. Always. They have to be killed. Daenerys Stormborn, House Targaryen, Breaker of Chains, and Mother of Dragons has to be killed, or she cannot have the power that she has. She cannot. There's no way of getting out of it. You have to be killed, or there is no other way. There's no other way. They make it to where you have to be killed, or that's it. You can never end the story with a woman and then she lived happily ever after. It's always a sad thing. Guys always get to walk into the sunset with another woman. They get to walk into the sunset with whatever they want, and women do not. Historia, like Ymir, like Historia's girlfriend, that they never get a chance to like consummate their relationship. Historia got pregnant by some rando. The moment she got pregnant, we never saw her again. They made it seem like she punched somebody and it was like nothing. She's like useless. Ymir's useless. The OG Ymir's useless. She's this person who had Stockholm syndrome and stayed with her abuser, and it's all her fault because everybody's like this, blaming a woman when the man is the one that was hurting her. Gabi, I will always stand Gabi. Gabi did nothing wrong. She did her job. She was indoctrinated as a child. Y'all have more grace for Diddy than you do for Gabi, and I really don't understand why. Makes zero logical sense. I cannot stand you guys, and I really hope that you can jump off a bridge one day. Blackness is literally at its best, but still disappointing because there's like one black dude. Ilion Gongenpo, or whatever his name is. Ilion Gongenpo. And his palms are lighter skinned, like it's not just and the lips are not looking like Dragon Ball Z. You stink. Onion, on Yan Kapan. Anya Kapan. I'm not going to say that again. There are some background women that never speak, that don't have that like don't matter because they're in the background. We never see them again. They're killed. And along with everything else, like I said, the fact that there is an oppressed class and freaking god dang, they're treated poorly for trying to stop them from being oppressed. I really don't understand. And here's an dishonorable mention. Tokyo Ghoul was the good old bait and switch, along with Attack on Titan, when I thought that the main character was going to be a woman and the guy died. Literally every anime, including Solo Leveling, they love to do the bait and switch to make it seem like, oh, we're not going to follow this good for nothing scrub bum that just sounds like every other male. But guess what? We're going to follow this male because anytime we're following a girl, nobody wants to see that. It's so annoying. I cannot stand it. Literally just do everything that you're going to think that you're going to do for a boy or like a freaking man, and do it with a woman or girl. Literally, that's all it takes. Like, if you are so dumb and such an idiot and you cannot like write women characters properly, the least you can do is just switch them out so that we can actually have a decent anime that's not horrible, that the girl is not told that she's trash, that like it, literally, I just don't get it because I'm not, I can't, I'm done.